yourself up. Very consciously shift how you're sitting. I was actually just going through a section of the teacher training that I'm taking right now, and it was specifically about the importance of the comfort of the seat, that this is the number one important thing, whether you're doing a meditation practice or whether you're coming to an asana practice or a physical pose practice. And really emphasizing that even if you come to the beginning of your practice and you set yourself up, but then a little while later, you're not comfortable anymore, that you get to consciously make that choice to make a shift for yourself. And I really liked that reminder of everything that we're doing in our yoga practice, everything that we're doing in our physical asana practice, its purpose is to help us feel better in the body. Its purpose is to help us feel like we can sit with really healthy alignment and even walk with really healthy alignment and be in a good space. And so take the time again to shift your sitting bones, even though this might be the 10 billionth time you've done it because you come to your yoga mat often. But take that time and then let your hands rest down and find the tilt of your pelvis so that your belly is coming forward. Lift up through your sides, shoulders up and back. And with your eyes closing, take a moment to breathe into a tall spine. And as you breathe into this tall spine, move through your body with your mind's eye and notice from tail to crown anything that's showing up for you in the body as any kind of aches or pains or sensation. And take another deep breath into what's there. Then bring your hands together to connect at heart center. And as you press your palms gently in, lift your sides again, lengthen. Find length through the back of your neck even. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, bow toward your heart. Softly opening your eyes, releasing your hands down. Keep your chin tucked down. And again, move your shoulders up and back. A little movement of your head and your neck here, shaking your head no. And then tilting your chin up toward the ceiling and take some half circles with your chin, moving through that little range of motion here. And as you tilt your chin side to side in that arcing motion, just notice if one side or the other feels any different, any more tense, any more open. And as you come back into center, take your hands in front to clasp, pull forward with your arms, round back through your upper back, chin tucks in, and then add a little bit of movement here, side to side through your ribs, your shoulders. Then inhale, sit tall, and switch the cross of your legs, coming to the less comfortable cross for yourself, shifting your sitting bones. And even as you come to this place that might feel a little bit less comfortable, you still get to try to create a little bit of ease for yourself. So maybe you add a little more propping. So now as you press your fingertips down behind you, lift up and open through your heart space, expand and lift your chest. Feel your shoulder blades engaging onto your back. And from this place, instead of tilting your head back, tuck your chin down in toward your chest and think of lengthening the back of your neck. Take a full big breath and feel the expansion in between shoulder blades, at the chest, at the back of the neck. Then tilt your chin up, and as you do so, keep length through the back of your neck. So you might not be able to tilt your head as far back. Take a big, deep breath. Then gently bring yourself more upright, tall through your spine. And then clasp your hands and bring them behind the back of your head. Press your head back into your hands. Open your elbows up wide, and then plug in with your shoulder blades onto your back. Take a big, deep inhale. Press your head back. Start to lift your chest up. Exhale, low belly and low ribs engage to support your back body. Inhale, press your head back, lift your chest. And exhale, engage. Good, then release your hands down and walk your fingertips forward just in front of you. Maybe you have them up on a block here. But press your spine back into a cat-like pose here with this little extra space. Take a big, deep breath into your upper back. Inhale, extend your heart forward, and now exhale, work your way out as far as your body needs to go, coming as deeply into a forward fold as your body is ready for, and that might be staying up a little bit higher, that might be bringing hands up to a block here. Find where that is for you, and then for a moment, check in with your breath all the way into your low back. Then inhale, gently rise all the way back up to a tall spine, and then bring your hands behind you to clasp. And as you press your palms toward each other, lift your shoulders up and back and hug back with your elbows. Take a big, deep inhale and lift up with your heart space. Exhale again, engage low belly, low ribs. Inhale, lift your heart space. If you want, you can reach your hands a little bit away from your back, just keeping that bend to your elbows, palms pressing in. Take one more big breath here, lengthen the back of your neck. And then gently release your hands, coming back to that tall spine. Take right ear over to your right shoulder, move your left shoulder blade onto your back. Exhale, drop your chin down in toward your chest. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder, right shoulder blade engages again. Exhale, chin into your chest. Now one more time on each side. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Re-engage your left shoulder blade. Exhale, chin down. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Right shoulder blade engages. And exhale, chin down. Now staying here with your chin down for just another moment, take your fingertips to either side of your neck, and then you're going to palpate up and down the back of your neck on either side of your spine. And then you can release one hand down, keep the other hand at the back of your neck, and start to squeeze up and down the back of your neck. And as you squeeze up and down the back of your neck, you might find a particular spot of tension. If you do, feel free to stay in that spot, squeezing a little bit and moving your head a little bit. Then back up to center. Now shift forward onto hands and knees. And from your hands and your knees, take a moment to set yourself up. Press under shoulders, knees under hips. Rotate elbow pits forward. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. Take a moment in your down dog to move, shift. Find a little bit of expansion here as maybe your back grows a little, your sitting bones lift a little. Maybe feeling that opening through the back sides of your legs. And then lower your knees back down, and now you're gonna come to your forearms, but turning your palms up. With your palms up, coming to your forearms here, now shift your hips back, working toward your child's pose. This just allows for that external arm bone rotation as you come into your child's pose. Take a big deep breath here. And now rise back up so that you're on your elbows. And now we're going to give ourselves a little bit of push against our forearms. So right hand over to your left arm, and you can keep your right elbow on the ground if you want, but you're going to push up and down your forearm so much that maybe you even have some movement happening through fingers in your hand. Push, and you can even add a little squeeze here if you want to. And then your right arm rests back down with your palm up, and take your left hand over to your right forearm and give a push up and down. And again, you can add that squeeze too if you want to. Good, and then now set yourself back up onto your hands and your knees. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Feel that expansion into your upper back. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog pose again. Take a big deep breath, and as you root from your lats out through your hands, see if you can feel a little more length through your sides and your spine. And now walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat, taking as many steps as you need to get there. Feet are inner hip distance apart or wider. If you have a tight low back, tight hips, tight hamstrings, then maybe take your feet a little wider than your hips. Take an inhale and bring your hands above your knees to rise part way. Send your sitting bones up. Exhale and fold over your legs. Inhale, hands above your knees. As you extend through your spine, take a moment to squeeze your glutes, your low belly, your low ribs. And then walk your hands up your legs, rising all the way up to stand. And then feet come to inner hip bone distance apart and parallel. Lift and spread your toes and then root them down into the ground. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Now clasp your hands overhead, turn your palms up and press. As you press, broaden through the tops of your shoulders so you have space there for your head and neck. Give a little ear to shoulder movement. Good, a little bend to your knees now, and move your inner thighs back, engage your low glutes and your low belly. Now root into the floor, push and stand taller, lift your chest up higher. Exhale, release your arms as you fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant your fingertips. Feel free to use blocks here if you would like. Step your right foot back into your lunge. Center with your hips. Bring your hands up to your hips as you rise. You can always have your back knee on the ground. That's perfectly okay here. Press down with your hands and grow longer from hip to armpit. Draw shoulder blades onto your back. Lift your chest. And now hands come behind to clasp if you want, or you can keep your hands at your hips. Lifting up with your chest, expanding and opening through your heart space. Engage your low glutes and your low belly. Inhale, lift your heart up just a little higher. And exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, step your left foot back into your lunge. Find that centering action with your hips and bring your hands up to your hips to rise. And from this place, push down with your hands, lift your sides, lift your heart. Bring hands to clasp if you want. Again, you can always keep them at your hips instead, especially if your shoulders are really tight. Big inhale, open and expand. Exhale, low glutes, low belly, engage. One more big inhale, open with your heart. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold as deeply as your body is ready for. Inhale, rise part way. And exhale, fold over your legs. Hands to hips. Push your hips back. Heart starts to lift. Lift your shoulders up and back as you rise, all the way up to standing. Feet are inner hip distance apart and parallel. Again, lift and spread your toes, and then root down with your toes. This time, hands come together at your heart in Anjali Mudra or prayer position. Press your palms together and start to lift elbows to about wrist height. Your wrists can lower as much as they need if that's comfortable, but then draw shoulder blades onto your back and lengthen the back of your neck. Now, as you give your knees a little bend, you're finding that space to be able to root more. So tone your low belly and your low glutes. Push into the floor from your glutes down through your feet. Lift your chest up higher. Little tiny back bend here, letting your chest lift. Tone your low belly. Tone your low ribs. One more big breath. Lift your chest. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Release your arms down. Turn your palms open. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant your fingertips, step your right foot back into your lunge. Inhale, reach up and rise. And again, you can always have your back knee on the ground if you want. Send your left hip crease back in space. And now take your hands to clasp again behind the back of your head. Press your head back into your hands. Open your elbows up wide and find your shoulder blades engaging. Then engage your low belly and your low ribs. Pull them in. Inhale, lift your chest as you press your head back into your hands. Exhale, release your hands down. Find your blocks here and work your front leg towards straight. As straight as your body is ready for without locking your knee joint, push your left big toe mound down and send your left hip back. Now bend your right knee and send your sitting bones up. As you extend your heart forward, take a full big breath here. Then inhale, bend into your front knee and step forward. Exhale, left foot steps back into your lunge. Root into the floor and reach. As you rise up into your lunge, again, you're centering with your hips. Think about the right hip wrapping back and down, glute medius in action here. And then bring your hands to clasp behind the back of your head. Press back with your hand, or back with your head rather. Open elbows, feel your shoulder blades. Notice that they probably have a little more ability to move. Tone your low belly, your low ribs. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your heart. Exhale, release your hands down to your blocks and work your front leg towards straight. Push your right big toe mound down and send your right hip back. Bend your left knee and send both sitting bones up. Extend your heart forward, take another deep, full breath. Inhale, bend into your front knee and step forward. Exhale, fold over your legs. From this place again, if you would like, you can take a wider stance with your feet. Clasp your hands behind the back side of your neck this time so that your hands are maybe giving a little gentle press down on the base of your skull. A little bend to your knees. Your elbows are reaching down. If it feels good, you can add a little bit of sway here, side to side through your torso. And then release your hands down. You can take your feet back in and walk your feet back into your downward facing dog pose. Deep, full breath. And now lower all the way down to your knees. Push your hips back towards your heels. Take a child's pose. And now gently push yourself up to your seat and find your bolster or your pillow, whatever you're using, and set it at the front of your mat. And we'll take a little spinal twist here just to bring things out a little bit more. So as you come to sit with your left hip right up against your bolster or your pillow or near it, then you're going to bend your knees back and then turn your torso toward your bolster and begin to recline over your bolster. And I'll turn that sideways just in case that was hard to understand. Now, as you take some big breaths here, the invitation in any restorative pose is to recognize if something doesn't stay easeful. And if it's not comfortable, then feel free to shift. Feel free to move. You can even simply untwist a little bit or move your pillow or bolster further away or closer to you. If it feels good to close your eyes, you're welcome to. Two more deep breaths on this side. And then use your hands to support you to rise back up to your seat. You can keep your bolster where it is, but then turn yourself to face the other way. So you're facing the left side and knees bend back. And turn yourself to face your bolster or pillow. And then as you start to recline, again, notice how this side feels. We very literally have different organs on each side of us. And so the twist might feel different. Shift what needs to be shifted to make yourself feel more comfortable. Two more deep breaths on this side. Then use your hands to support you to press you back up to your seat. Then you're going to come all the way down to sitting bones. Make sure that you can reach your props. And then make your way all the way onto your back. Hugging knees in as close as is comfortable. Rock a little side to side and take some deep breaths. And now footprints to the floor, walk your feet out wide. And now we're gonna hold our pose on each side for our windshield wipers. So as you drop both knees over to the left side, pause for a moment and flex both feet. And then take a look at your right thigh and just notice the angle of it. If it's angled more to the left, then shift so that your thigh bone is straight out from your hip socket. If it feels good in your body, you're welcome to take your left foot and cross it over the right thigh for a little added thigh stretch. Sometimes this helps get more into that pocket muscle. Sometimes it helps get into the psoas. Feel free to add arms stretched overhead here if that feels good. But if it bothers your knee at all, then take that left foot off your right thigh. Full big deep breath. And now if your left foot is still on your thigh, take it off and then bring your knees back up to center. Feet again are wider than your mat, and then drop both knees over to the right side and then check again. Notice where your left thigh is this time. And you might flex both feet and set your right foot over your left thigh, or you might keep your feet on the ground here for this. It entirely depends on what's the safest and feels the best in your body. As you take a couple deep breaths on this side, notice for yourself how it feels. Notice if there's any difference in sensation. And then gently take right foot off of your thigh if it's still there and bring your knees back up to center. And from this place, if it feels the best on your neck, then you're welcome to bring a blanket underneath your head and neck. You can always take a roll there. Feet are on the floor, knees are bent. Take your hands to your upper thighs and give a push. And as you push, then add a little bit of movement here with your pelvis. A little bit of pivot. And then a little side to side rock. And then begin to choose your position for Shavasana. Maybe add that pillow or bolster underneath your legs. Maybe take a butterfly or set that pillow or bolster underneath your spine. Take that time to find an easeful place for yourself. Begin to take a deeper breath. Gently add movement into fingers and into toes. As you're ready to, bend your knees and roll to one side. Gently, slowly press yourself back up to your seat. And connect palms together at heart center. And as you take a deep breath, tune into what's happening in your body. Tune into what's present. Tune into any shifts. Have a very peaceful, very beautiful rest of your night. Namaste. Thanks, you guys. And